And if at a young age, if you are losing capital, you're not losing anything. You are only gaining experience. So I mean, if you lose capital after you have to spend 25 years in the market, then that is a debacle.
Before I begin this podcast, I have a small announcement. For those who don't know me, I'm Aakash. I make videos in the stock markets, marketing, and business. I also run a marketing business. On the announcement, I'm going to be more active on YouTube. The last 2 years have been quite a ride for me, from moving countries to figuring out time to make more content for you guys. And now I'm going to be more active on this channel. Today is a big day. I have a very special guest on this episode. I am very proud of the guests that I've been able to bring on this podcast for you guys who have shared their business secrets, their models, their complete blueprints for you guys to help you build your business. I have only one small request in return. Please subscribe to this channel, like the videos, comment, share the episodes with your friends and family who are in the process of trying to build their businesses. As the channel grows, the more guests that I'll be able to bring on. So please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Now back to the podcast. Alok sir, I have a short intro for you. In this episode, we have one of the best analysts in the Indian stock markets, the founder of Weekend Investing, a guy who loves tweeting about memes, who enjoys helping his community, a light-hearted person, yet one of the sharpest minds in the Indian stock markets. After trying for months of getting him on, I finally have had a chance to talk to him. I'm going to ask a lot of questions because I want to learn a lot from him, because I'm sure he can add a lot of value. And I'm going to try and ask him in a way that everyone can understand, even if you're new to the stock markets. Alok sir, thanks for coming on. Thanks for your time. How are you, sir?
Hi Akash, thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm sorry it took so long for us to come to this point, but I'm glad we are doing this now, and I hope everybody learns from this. I also learn every time I share my thoughts. I go deeper into the subject, so it's a learning process for everybody, and I welcome this.
Yeah. All right. Sir, for the few people who don't know about you, can you tell us your story, your background? Like, how did you start in the stock market? What has your journey been like?
So I was in school, college at IIT Delhi in 1991. And then I moved to the US for further studies. I was there for 4 or 5 years. So it all happened by chance that National Stock Exchange was opening up in India. Till then, the largest exchanges were the BSE and Kolkata Stock Exchange, etc. But National Stock Exchange was opening up, and for the first time, they were inviting professional members to come and become the stock exchange members. So I teamed up with a few investors, and I decided to pack my bags in the US and come back home, and started this journey of the stock brokerage house, where initially we were into institutional broking, then later on that morphed into retail broking, and that went on for a couple of decades. So it was purely by chance. I had no knowledge about the stocks or stock markets. I had no family business. My father was in the government. So it just happened to, the stars aligned in that way to bring me into this field. Of course, I was studying finance. I was doing a master's in finance and MBA in the US, but I was also applying for jobs at McKinsey, etc. Just before this. So after this brokerage stint, then I started to develop rule-based strategies, mainly for my own self. I was very interested to do this because I saw thousands of, I mean, we had like a couple of thousand retail customers in our brokerage house. And I saw that, none of them really were making any money by design. Some people were making money by luck or by chance. Somebody bought some stocks and didn't act upon it, or somebody got it in inheritance, or somebody forgot about some stocks and just made money. So very few people were actually doing any rule-based or proper structured investing. And I decided to go that path because my own investing experience of that 2 decades was not so good. So I tried to be a value investor. I tried to do all kinds of fundamental investing, and I used to make money, but give it all up in the next down cycle. And after a couple of those cycles, I realized, what am I doing wrong? I make a lot of money, but then I give it all up. So there is no, growth that is happening as such. And a lot of times I also felt that, even though stocks go down and come back maybe a few years later, that interim period is extremely painful. So how to, reduce that pain of holding, stocks that are not doing well? Should we even hold them for a very long period? Because it becomes a very, a hopeful trade.
Yes.
That maybe this stock will come back, maybe this group will bounce back, but you never know. And as the world is becoming a very disruptive place, where the average age of a corporation, at least in the US, they do all these studies. So it used to be 30-40 years, few decades back. Now it has reduced to about 1.5 decades. So the companies themselves don't last too long, because the technology is developing so fast, and there's all kind of disruption that keeps happening, that whatever is happening in the last decade may not survive the next decade. So this buy, hold, and forget situation was becoming more and more meaningless for me, at
Yes.
least.
Yes.
And hence these structured strategies came into my mind, and I started to develop a few of these strategies based on my own experience of how stocks are moving in each bull rally, and how they're moving in a down cycle. So I
Right.
created some of these strategies. At that point of time, I did not know that there was a whole subject of momentum investing already sort of available. I'd never read a book about momentum investing, and to my mind, I was creating something out of the total bare bones thought process of how one should go about buying and selling of stocks. But later on, of course, I realized I'm not the first person to think about this. So incidentally, after this brokerage business, I was offering some of my learnings on Twitter. For I think 2015 I started on Twitter, and I started to offer one of my strategies on Twitter, that you can follow the strategy if you like, and I'll do the updates every week. We'll do a weekly rebalance. So for that 1 year, I offered that free strategy, and a lot of people benefited from that. A lot of following came on Twitter. I went from like 50 followers to 1,000 followers.
I remember.
And okay, so
I mean, काफी काफी कुछ सीखा मैंने आपसे उस टाइम पीरियड से, like 2018
great.
2018 was बहुत यूफोरिया था मार्केट में. 2018
Yes,
20
yes.
2017 दिसंबर, उस टाइम पे स्मॉल कैप्स मिड कैप्स बहुत रन कर रहे थे. I mean, there was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot
So
of
that is actually 2017 December, or 2018 January was one article which came in Money Control about my strategies. They picked
Yes.
up the buzz from the market, and Nuresh Bhai recommended my name to them to write this article, and Shishir ji wrote that article. And that article really brought the weekend investing brand into some limelight. And as soon as that article was published, we had a beeline of people wanting to take our service.
Wow.
And that was the top. Unfortunately, that was the top of the small cap
Yes.
move. Because the results that we have had in the last 2 years, 2016, 2017, were phenomenal. Like 80%, 70%, 90%. So after 2 such years of results, I mean, it was difficult to have a third year like that. But we got a lot of people come in, and then of course some of them uh, uh, stayed back even after that bad year, and have rode on with us since then. And then in 2000, I think 18 end, I just casually wrote a email to smallcase. Smallcase till that time was not having any managers on their platform.
Okay.
They only had their own internal research team, and they had their own researched portfolios, 40-50 portfolios, and about some 3-4 lakhs customers
Okay.
were using those portfolios.
Uh-huh.
At that point of time, not many people had heard of Smallcase.
Yes.
And I happened to hear about them, and I really liked their platform. And I had also been communicating with Nitin Kamath of Zerodha since I was a customer with him, since I left my own brokerage house.
Yes.
Uh,
Okay.
I never met him, but I have deep regard for him, and we have exchanged many emails. And I found out that he's an investor in small case, so I
Okay.
requested him to introduce me to Vasant Kamath, who's the CEO of Small Case.
Okay.
And then Vasant came to Delhi once, and we met, and he really liked my ideas about what we can do on Small Case.
Mhm.
And within a very short period of time, I think about 3-4 months, they created the platform which is called Publisher.
Okay.
And they invited me to be the first manager on that platform. And Small Case has not looked back, and weekend investing, both of us have not looked back since then. I mean, Small Case today is, I think, 7 million customers. So they
Yeah.
have really done extremely well. I'm very, proud that a company like this has come around and is challenging the conventional methods of investing. And I'm extremely happy to be associated with them, of course. So
It
that has been going on for the last about 5 odd years, and we've had tremendous success with both number of customers that we are serving, and the great love and affection that we are getting from the market and from the people.
Yes, I mean, it has been small cases an amazing platform. They've done remarkably well. Alok sir, before I begin, मैं एक disclosure देना चाहता हूँ. Alok sir, if in this podcast, if Alok sir shares any of the stocks as case studies, it is not an investment recommendation. Please do your own research.
Yes,
Sir,
please.
Alok sir has come on. It is an informal conversation that we are having. All the questions that I am asking, it is for educational purposes. It's not an investment advice. Sir, right off the bat, before मैं कोई strategies के बारे में बात करें, can you tell me like market कैसा लग रहा है आपको?
Markets, मेरे ख्याल से this 1.5 years of consolidation that we've had, I think that is very important, that it has taken that euphoria out of the market. So what euphoria was existing in October 21, after 1.5 years of a steep rise from 7,500 Nifty to 18,000 Nifty, I think that euphoria is not there. The kind of froth that usually is there at market peaks, where the market is peaking after a great run, that is not there. So this time period of 1.5 years that has gone by has given a very good cooling off period.
Mm-hmm.
And from that perspective, earnings have also caught up in that 1.5 years.
Okay.
So the valuation gap that may have existed a year and a half back has been closed in much more now than year and a half back. So from that perspective, I don't think there is so much of downside that is possible.
Okay.
Of course, if there is a global contagion of sorts, then
Mm-hmm.
or some like the current issue that is on in the market, if that really snowballs, then that's a different matter. But purely from a perspective of that, we remain in a range of the earnings that we have been growing at. I don't think we have space below 14, 15,000 at least in the worst case. So from that perspective, I mean, yes, I mean 5-10% can go anytime, but the way the Indian market has remained steady, if the current issues that are there in the market get resolved, I don't think there is any major issue as such, because the growth trajectory is quite robust.
Right.
The interest rate cycle is about to peak out. Today also, the RBI governor has mentioned that the interest rates have peaked out, and all that bodes well for the economy going forward.
Right. Sir, you have experienced all of the market cycles. Like you've been in the industry for more than 25 years. Can you tell us like when I hear people talking about like investing and trading is more about mindset, strategies is only some portion of it. More of it, like how can you control your emotions? What is your psychology behind that approach that you have? Looking back, like when you see that you have had 25 plus years of experience, How have you understood the market psychology? How have you understood for yourself, like what is it that works for you, and how do you define investing and trading psychology? What is the difference between that, and what are your learnings from your experience?
So my belief is that every person is a very unique individual, and no two people will be thinking alike on this matter or any matter actually. So from that perspective, whether investing will suit somebody's temperament or trading will suit somebody's temperament is a very different thing, and you'll need to try out different time frame based strategies to figure out what fits like a glove for you. My own journey has been that I was trying to be a long-term investor, and I failed at that. And I used to do a lot of trading also. I realized one thing, that you could not be both at the same time. At least uh, my mind was not maybe strong enough to segregate those two compartments totally, so that I could be a trader during the day, intraday, and by evening I could think long term. That segregation is very difficult to do. Some people are able to do that, to have different silos of, this is my money that I want to do long term investing, I will not touch it in short term, and this is my short term trading. But it's very difficult to do actually in real life. uh, so I went through those iterations of what I should be doing, and over a period of time I realized that the most uh, important thing that I value is my sleep, and I don't want to be in any situation where I go to bed at night and worry about what will happen tomorrow. So from that perspective, I wanted to have a plan where if I'm investing or trading, then all your rules, all the the framework of that should be set, so that when you are sort of in stress, when you are pushed by the market against the wall, at that point of time, if you want to take a decision, you are not able to take a decision, or you will take bad decisions at that time because you are stressed. You're not able to think logically, you're not able to think rationally. So that decision should have been pre-decided, that if X happens, I will be doing Y, and if Z happens, I'll be doing ABC. So those decisions, once they are written in stone for you, then it's a matter of execution. Of course, you can falter during execution also. I mean, you may have a set of rules and you may say that okay, I don't feel like following this rule today. You can always circumvent that. But what I'm saying is that once you have a strategy, once you follow that strategy for some time, once you have success, and once you have seen bad times also and recovering from that, then you have a lot of confidence on what you're doing. For instance, like I was telling you, 2018, a lot of folks came into our small cap strategy, and 2018 was a watershed sort of a year for small caps. But those who remained in that strategy, the strategy went to cash, it went through a 30-40% drawdown, and then it recovered 90%, 100% in 2 years following that. So those who remained in that actually saw the fruits of their patience and sticking with the strategy. So over a period of time, as I grew old, I gave up a lot of high leveraged trading that I used to do in my younger days. Somehow that don't feel very comfortable anymore. Also, I think as you scale your amounts of money involved in the market, the number of strategies for sharp trading become, in a way, either you go on an algorithmic way, where some algorithm will be able to do some high frequency trade. Other than that, then if your amount starts to become very large, you'll have to move out of the time frame. I mean, if you were doing a 5-minute time frame strategy with 10 lakhs of rupees, If you have a crore of rupees, maybe you'll not be able to do that. Maybe you'll have to come to 15 minutes. Maybe you'll have to come to half an hour. Maybe you'll have to come to 1 hour time frame, because the volume availability at every tick is not there. So, I mean, that is the reason why you don't find FIIs doing, option buying, selling, because that is not their game. They want to, move large amounts of money when they do, and they're happy with a realistic rate of return. So good investors who accumulate at, even a reasonable double-digit returns can really go very far. So you get 40, 50%, 100% returns. Of course, in the very initial years, just to build your base capital, you could, try to do that. But what I see is that that is not sustainable going forward. So you basically, have to discover your own self as you go along. There cannot be any, set path that one can keep, that, you have to walk this path and you'll reach here. The only thing is discipline, and, essentially just keep doing, what you're doing, and essentially taking feedback, having a feedback loop from your own work. So just for an example, I can tell you, like in my early trading days, I used to create a journal every day. So every day I used to create a journal, write my trades, even write where I went wrong, where I did right. And that used to help me a lot, to sort of have a feedback loop of where am I going wrong, what things should I not keep repeating wrong, so on and so forth. So having that, and having, a very peaceful state of mind when you are taking decisions is very, very important. If you are, if you're mentally disturbed, if you've had a fight with your family, if you have a, if you're trying to do a revenge trading, cover up for some losses that has happened in the last 2 hours, it is going to really go bad. So from that perspective, it has to be almost like a Zen-like mental framework. And if you have all rules that have been set aside, then of course there's nothing to do and just to execute them.
Yes, I mean, thanks for saying that, because including me, I also strongly believe that you've not had success in investing, but you've had success in momentum investing. So you figured out your strength and you doubled down on that, and now you've built a lot of businesses on top of it, and you've seen results in your you started seeing result in your portfolio, and then you helped others with them, right? Sir, momentum investing की बात कर रहे हैं. Can you teach us, like, what is momentum investing, and how can somebody who doesn't have too much experience with, they can just read charts or they can read news and they have some basic knowledge in the stock markets, वो कैसे build कर सकते हैं momentum strategy? आप कुछ screen share करके सिखा सकते हैं?
So momentum investing का मैं थोड़ा समझा देता हूँ आपको. A lot of viewers last, I think 5-6 years में काफी awareness आ गई है momentum investing के बारे में, as the market has expanded, and pre 2016, of course, very few people had heard about it. So essentially the basic idea is that you are allowing the market to tell you what to buy and sell. So अगर मैं बिल्कुल basic level पे चले जाऊं, what is going up should be bought, what is going down should be sold. That is the basic idea. अब वो सुनने में आपको बहुत ज्यादा ओवर सिंप्लीफाइड लगता है ये, बट बिकॉज हमारे इतने बायसेस होते हैं, एंड वी वांट टू कंट्रोल व्हाट वी थिंक विल गो अप, व्हाट वी थिंक विल गो डाउन. So we take decisions based on what our perception is, that stock XYZ will go up. It may or may not go up, but we think that it will go up, hence we buy it. Or we think that something in our portfolio will go down, hence we sell it. So we are trying to preempt the market. The market may not be telling you, that you should be buying stock A, but we are preempting it, that, other people will, start selling it. So let me go buy it. So on and so forth. So in momentum investing, it's just like regular investing. एक portfolio है, आपने allocation भी किया है. You will do some, allocation on a per stock basis. I want to allocate 3% per stock, 5% per stock, so on and so forth. You'll create a portfolio, and the portfolio selection could be based on the momentum of that portfolio. Now, what is momentum? Momentum is basically a rate of change of price over a period of time. So that is one way of calculating momentum. So अगर आज का प्राइस ले लें हम और 6 महीने पहले का प्राइस ले लें, तो जिस स्टॉक ने ज़्यादा परसेंटेज मूव अप किया है, हम कहेंगे कि उसमें ज़्यादा मोमेंटम। तो ऐसा करके अगर हमने सपोज कोई इंडेक्स ले लिया, CNX 200 इंडेक्स ले लिया, and we have a listing of all these stocks, 200 stocks, how has the momentum performed in the last 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 months, whatever may be our time period or combination of that. तो हमारे पास एक रैंकिंग आ गई कि ये हमारा टॉप रैंक्ड मोमेंटम प्लेयर है, ये नंबर 2 है, ये नंबर 3 है, नंबर 4 है, ऐसे करके रैंकिंग आ गई 200 तक. So then we can just pick the top momentum stocks and put 5% allocation into each of them into 20 stocks, let's say. Right. So the basic idea is कि वो जो न्यूटन का लॉ होता है ना, that a body in motion continues to remain in motion until a external force will stop it. So momentum में ये आपकी ये एक assumption है that stock that is going up will continue to go up until it starts to come down. Similarly, on the downside, stock that goes down will continue to go down. So the continuity of that direction is something that you assume. So if a stock is going up, it will have higher momentum. You will pick it. If it continues to have that momentum, you will keep it in your portfolio. If it starts to drop it off, you will drop it. So essentially, you will rebalance every month, every quarter, every week, the way you can design your strategy in 50,000 ways. Just like in fundamental investing, you can do, fundamental investing 50,000 ways. You can design it. You can also add fundamentals to this if you like. You can screen based on fundamentals and then apply momentum filter to it. So many ways of doing it. The idea, the core idea is that you're allowing the stock's movement to guide you whether you should be buying it or whether you should be selling it. Okay. So what happens is that stocks, you may have noticed, run up before some important announcement. For instance, suppose किसी का merger हो रहा है या कोई बहुत अच्छे results आने वाले हैं, stocks are running up before the announcement only. Nobody knows why the stock is running up. Yes. Right. And by the time markets come to know why this has happened, the stock has already run up almost its entire journey. So there is a concept called Bhav Bhagwan Che. We call it the BBC principle.
Quick one. If you're into the stock markets and would like to open a demat account, I have partnered with Angel Broking. Please use my referral link. The technology is amazing. I love the platform. They have one of the lowest brokerages in the industry. It's 20 rupees per trade. Their support is amazing. I have used it myself. I can vouch for it. Use my referral link. Now, back to the podcast.
So this is the whole idea that the market is for us. I mean, the news reaches the market much before the news is announced. And the mass psychology that is available is usually, in my view, there's no point in fighting against the trend. If the trend is long, you want to be long. If the trend is short, you want to be short. You don't want to fight the trend. So the trend in the market will precede all these announcements, earnings, so on and so forth, whatever good is happening for the company. The trends will precede that, and hence your entry into a stock may happen much before than where others may come in based on that news or that outcome. And similarly, on the way down, you may be able to exit much earlier because the price is telling you so before you come to know, after a stock has dropped 50%, 60%, that, oh, the earnings have dropped off. So from that perspective, momentum investing is extremely, I would say, analytical. It is crystal clear in terms of what you're trying to achieve and how you're going to do it. There is no ambiguity. Yes, there may be periods where it will get chopped around. You will lose some money. There'll be some drawdowns. That is there in every strategy, any strategy that you do. Any type of trading, investing, if you do, you should be ready that you will have good days and you will have bad days. You will have good years and you will have bad years. This is a part and parcel of investing and trading life. to expect that every day you will make money, or every month you will make money, and every year you will make money may or may not happen. So the whole advantage of momentum investing, for me at least, is that I know the framework that I'm following. As and when the market trends are aligned for it, I'll make a lot of money in those years.
Okay.
And in the years where market may be chopping around, market may be coming down, I'll not make too much money, or I'll not make even the market performance sometimes.
Okay.
So the whole thing is that people have a very sort of a misconception about momentum investing. First of all, the word momentum tends to make them think that this is short-term trading.
Yes.
Our average holding period in our strategies is anywhere from 3 to 6 months. So it is nowhere as short as the perception could be, that you're buying and you're selling and you're buying and you're selling. That is not the case. And secondly, because you have allocated according to a certain weight, so even if in a 30 stock portfolio, one stock is, let's say, about 3% of weightage, and even if one of them don't do well, they drop 30, 40, 50%, your entire boat is not rocked because of that. So you can create a concentrated strategy also. You can create a diversified strategy. Our most concentrated strategy is 10 stocks. Our most diversified strategy is 50 stocks. And we've done well in both of them across the spectrum. So from that perspective, it appealed better to me in terms of peace of mind, in terms of having everything laid out properly with no ambiguity, and only remaining part is basically execution, and not trying to cut corners short when market is against you. So it could happen that some stocks may start to drop, but your strategy is not yet exiting it.
Yes.
Right. So now a lot of people may jump and do some ad hoc decisions based on that, take some discretionary decisions.
Yes.
Sometimes it may work, sometimes it may not work. Sometimes the stocks drop 5-10% and go up another 50% after that. Sometimes they drop 10% and then drop 50% more from there.
Yes.
So to preempt if you're doing rule-based investing or trading, whatever you may be doing, if you try to preempt your trade, it may work sometimes, but in the long term, you will not make benefit out of that. Because you've backtested a strategy, you've run a strategy based on certain rules. Now you're trying to preempt those rules.
Yeah.
And that will create a problem. So people who are not so 24/7 involved in the markets, this is very good for them, because you only need to spend 2 minutes every rebalance. That could be every month, every week, every quarter, so on and so forth. So from that perspective, it's extremely good that you cut out that noise of that entire week and practice this.
राइट सर, एक एग्जांपल देके आप बता सकते हैं, स्क्रीन शेयरिंग कर सकते कि कैसे आपने एक केस स्टडी देखे कि ये बिल्ड किया एंड दिस वाज माय मोमेंटम इन्वेस्टिंग इन दैट केस.
Can you see the screen now?
Yes, I can see it.
So I don't have that presentation readily available with me, but if you go through this media page here on weekendinvesting.com, there are several of my videos that talk about specific strategy, how to create them. I'll show you which ones are these. I did one with Vivek Bajaj.
Yes, I've watched it.
That had a very specific detailed version of how to create a strategy. I think this one, the A to Z of momentum investing,
right.
And also this one, the e-learn weekend investing thing. This.
सर, एक एग्जांपल है कि ऐसे बता सकते हैं आप कि लाइक आपने डिसाइड कर लिया कि ये स्टॉक सो एंड सो है, इसमें मेरी जो भी अपने पर्सनल पैरामीटर्स होते हैं वो चेक हो रहे हैं, एंड यू डिसाइड टू पुट इन योर मनी इन इट. What is your exit plan? What is your risk management in that? Like how much and what are the things that you look at in terms of risk management? और उसको कैसे आप डिफाइन करते हैं कि इससे ज़्यादा मैं नहीं इसमें रिस्क ले सकता?
तो वो स्ट्रेटेजी के डिजाइन पर डिपेंड करेगा। आई मीन लाइक लॉट ऑफ पीपल विल जस्ट डिजाइन द स्ट्रेटेजी इन अ वे कि भी अगर मेरी जो रैंकिंग्स हैं 20 रैंक्स में मैं अगर इन्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ, इफ माई रैंकिंग्स डोंट, माई स्टॉक्स डोंट रिमेन इन द टॉप 20 रैंक्स, आई विल गेट आउट ऑफ देम, आई विल बाय द न्यू stocks that come into the top rankings. Or some may decide that if it falls below 80 I will get out. Some may say if it falls below, let's say 20% from the top, I'll get out. You
एक
may have a 50 moving average uh, uh, that may decide your exit. So it will all depend upon how you design the strategy and create an exit
assuming
plan out of that.
ऐसे समझ है वीकेंड इन्वेस्टिंग, सो वी आर काइंड ऑफ डूइंग इट एज अ स्विंग ट्रेड, लाइक एक 15-20 दिन का एक व्यू लेके उस पे आप कैसे डिफाइन करेंगे कि कौन सा एलिमेंट देखना है, कौन सा इंडिकेटर देखना है, मुझे कैसे डिसाइड करूं मैं कि इस जगह पे मुझे एंट्री मारनी है, इस जगह पे मुझे एग्जिट मारना है?
मैं तो सिंपलेस्ट एग्जांपल यही बता रहा हूँ आपको, क्या इफ यू सी द रेट ऑफ चेंज over a year and you take the top 20 ranked stocks, and then every month you see how the stocks are changing from this ranking. If it drops from 20th to 21st rank, you get out of it, you bring in the new stock there. Or if you want to see the chart, I can show you a chart also.
Yes, that'd be great.
And
ऐसे suppose somebody who has no little experience, वो कैसे डेवलप कर सकते हैं ऐसे स्ट्रैटेजी?
देखो, सबसे पहले तो अगर एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है तो थोड़ा सीखना तो पड़ेगा उसके अंदर। आइडिया
मान लो
इज
थोड़ा
दैट
एक्सपीरियंस है, उनको चार्ट्स देखना आता है, थोड़ा टेक्निकल एनालिसिस आता है, बट
चार्ट्स, एक्चुअली चार्ट्स का कोई रोल नहीं है इसमें। मैं आपको वैसे दिखा देता हूँ चार्ट्स। आप चार्ट्स अगर फॉलो करना चाहते हैं, लेट्स गो टू सम लार्ज कैप नेम्स फॉर इंस्टेंस. So in the sense that you could use any indicator where you could make a exit plan based out of. So it depends upon the design of the strategy. Now some people may say that I want to design a strategy where below a 20-day moving average I want to get out. So there could be a plan to get in based on some rule, and there could be a plan to get out based on another rule. So for instance, you could, let's say if you're creating a very short term strategy, maybe a 3-month or 12-week high of a price is a indicator for you that you could consider that to go long.
Okay.
So once the stock breaks the previous 3-month high, you're going long, and then you're sticking with it till your 20-day moving average is not taken out,
right,
convincing,
right,
maybe till here, and then you are
तो इसमें आप ड्रॉडाउन कैसे डिफाइन करते हैं सर कि इतना मुझे रिस्क, इससे ज्यादा मैं अगर नीचे गया तो मैं वहां पे एग्जिट कर लूंगा?
सो हम मोमेंटम
वाइज ही
स्ट्रेटजीज,
होता है?
मोमेंटम स्ट्रेटजीज में हम ड्रॉडाउन रिस्क डिफाइन नहीं करते हैं. हम उसको डाइवर्सिफाई करते हैं उस तरीके से कि ऑन एन एवरेज आपका 15 से 25% के आसपास ड्रॉडाउन उससे ज्यादा नहीं आएगा. दैट इज बाय डिजाइन. कभी होता है कि उससे ज्यादा भी हो जाता है, बट मोस्टली आपका जो स्टॉक्स हैं उस रेंज में आके निकल जाएंगे. क्योंकि आपको बेसिकली क्या है ना कि जब आप लेट्स से कोई 50 स्टॉक का इंडेक्स है, निफ्टी नेक्स्ट 50 है, उसमें से आप 10-20 स्टॉक्स ले रहे हैं, तो हम यूजुअली क्या करते हैं कि हम इंडेक्स डिफाइन करते हैं और उसके अंदर 10 या 20 स्टॉक उसमें से लिए, और जो स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट स्टॉक है, उसके स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट जिसमें मोमेंटम चल रहा है उनको लेंगे. और जब उनका मोमेंटम थोड़ा वीक हो जाएगा उनको हम छोड़ देंगे, और जो फिर उसको रिप्लेस करने के लिए जो स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट आएगा उनको ले लेंगे. तो हम चार्ट बेसिस पे डिसीजंस नहीं लेते. सो दीज आर नॉट एड हॉक डिसीजंस बेस्ड ऑन प्राइस. these are in most cases relative decisions. कि मेरे इन 50 स्टॉक्स में से 10 स्टॉक ये स्ट्रांग है, ये 10 स्टॉक वीक हो गए, तो इन 10 स्टॉक्स को बाहर निकाल दो.
बैक वही सेम थीसिस, फोकस ऑन योर स्ट्रेंथ्स, रिमूव ऑल द वीकनेसेस.
हाँ, so that is the underlying thesis across all strategies, that gradually, and that is the thesis for index investing also. When index में जब 6 महीने में अगर इंडेक्स कमेटी बैठ के उसको चेंज करती है इंडेक्स को, तो वो यही करते हैं कि जो इंडेक्स के स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट स्टॉक्स हैं वो अंदर रहते हैं, और जो वीक स्टॉक्स होते हैं उनको बाहर निकाल देते हैं. अब Yes Bank was also a nifty stock. India Bulls was also a nifty stock.
Mm-hmm.
Jayaprakash was also a nifty stock. So over a period of time, it is a evolution of the fittest. Survival of the
Yes.
fittest चल रहा है ये, कि
Mm-hmm.
अपने आप सर्वाइव करोगे तो आप इंडेक्स में रहोगे, नहीं तो आप बाहर हो जाओगे.
Right.
तो उसी तरह से मोमेंटम स्ट्रेटजीज भी हैं. इंडेक्स भी एक तरीके का मोमेंटम इन्वेस्टिंग का ही एक सबसेट है वो.
और सर अब जो डाइवर्सिफिकेशन बोलते हैं वो भी सेम थीसिस पे बेस्ड है ना, टॉप परफॉर्मिंग के, या तो उस पे कोई इसमें कुछ भी कंपनी के रिलेटेड कुछ एलिमेंट नहीं है कि कंपनी क्या कर रही है, इट इज जस्ट परफॉर्मेंस बेस्ड.
It is performance based. Of course, we have a filter where we want to check if there is any red flag. अगर एक्सचेंज ने कुछ रेड फ्लैग लगाया है या कोई ऐसा डीलिस्टिंग होने वाला है उसका, या कोई रीस्ट्रक्चरिंग होने वाला है, तो उसको हम कंसिडर नहीं करेंगे. बट अदर देन दैट, आई मीन, इफ देयर इज नो इशू, एंड ऑफ कोर्स लिक्विडिटी हैज टू बी एक्सट्रीमली गुड.
मैं वही क्वेश्चन पूछना रहा था, लिक्विडिटी कैसे डिफाइन करते हैं सर? वो कोई वॉल्यूम आप रेगुलरली ट्रैक करते हैं या वो सिर्फ इसी पे बेस करते हैं
तो
कि ये हाईली लिक्विड है इसलिए
हम
मैं
उसका
इसमें
एक महीना, 3 महीना, 6 महीना, 12 महीने का एवरेज वॉल्यूम स्टडी करते हैं.
ओके.
और जितना हमें चाहिए होता है वॉल्यूम स्ट्रेटजी के हिसाब से, उससे ऊपर अगर वॉल्यूम नहीं है उसका तो छोड़ देंगे उस स्टॉक को.
क्योंकि
सो द
लार्ज
वॉल्यूम,
कैपिटल होगा देन यू नीड मोर लिक्विडिटी इन दैट स्टॉक.
इसीलिए मैं आपको पहले कह रहा था कि हर जो मॉडल है वो हर कैपिटल पे नहीं चल सकता. एज योर कैपिटल ग्रोज, you will not be able to do the same things that you are doing with lesser capital.
ओके. ओके. दैट इज ट्रू, क्योंकि सेम अगर स्मॉल कैप्स मिड कैप्स होंगे वो इलिक्विड होते हैं ज्यादा, तो वो शायद इसमें ना काम आ पाए. इज इट
बिल्कुल
सो?
बिल्कुल. अब आपको मैं नाम नहीं लूंगा, लेकिन 4-5 साल पहले एक बड़े फेमस फंड मैनेजर स्मॉल कैप के थे, अभी भी हैं, और वो फंस गए उसमें क्योंकि उन्होंने 6-8% इक्विटी ले ली कंपनीज में. इतना बड़ा उनका फंड हो गया कि उनको, और अगर इतना बड़ा फंड है और आपके पास कंपनी तो 20 ही लेनी है आपको, तो हर कंपनी में आपको 5%, 10% इक्विटी लेनी पड़ रही है. अगर आप 5 से 10% इक्विटी एक कंपनी में ले रहे हैं और 4 महीने में, 8 महीने बाद, 2 साल बाद आपको बेचनी है, तो वो एग्जिट बहुत मुश्किल है.
राइट.
10% इक्विटी किसी भी कंपनी की निकालनी है, उसके लिए सामने आपको एक बहुत बड़ा इन्वेस्टर चाहिए, कोई इंस्टीट्यूशन चाहिए, या प्रमोटर ही ले आपसे. तो यू बिकम द एलिफेंट इन द रूम.
यस.
और अगर मार्केट को पता है कि आप एलिफेंट इन द रूम है और आपके पास स्टॉक है, तो वो मार्केट आपको गिरा देती है. तो ये तब तक ही कामयाब है स्ट्रेटजीज जितनी भी हैं ये, जब तक आप मार्केट से बड़े ना हो जाएं. आपको उसी सेगमेंट में रहना है जहां पर आप, यू आर ए स्मॉल फिश इन दैट एंटायर गेम.
राइट.
Once you become a large fish, then everybody knows that you can be trapped.
Yes, that वो काफी important point है. Sir, thank you so much. This has been extremely helpful. I know you have a meeting now. Where can people find you online? Like, if they have any questions, where they can, like, Twitter is obviously that you're most
Twitter
active
is the
at.
first place, but
Can you share a handle?
Yeah, so our handle is @weekend investing. I'll just show you my handle, links also here. So this is the Weekend Investing Hub. The link is there on the website also.
Right.
And this has all the data for all our strategies, whether monthly, quarterly, yearly returns, all the detailed, FAQs, manuals, everything. And we have all the links to Twitter, Telegram channel, YouTube, and website also here. This QR code also works if you can create a screenshot of that.
Okay.
So the Twitter, of course, is the most
right. Okay, I'll link it. I'll add a screenshot on this.
Yeah. So this is my Twitter handle.
Okay.
@weekend investing. There is no I after the T.
Okay.
So that's the handle, and you can definitely engage with me here, and I'm there few hours every day.
Great. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, एक last question मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ.
हाँ जी.
आपने इस पे थोड़ा मुझे डीप में जाना था, बट वी डोंट हैव इनफ टाइम. एक शॉर्ट में आप बोल सकते हैं, यू टॉक्ड अबाउट आपके फेलियर में जिसने आपने सीखा, दैट इज कमिंग आउट ऑफ फेलियर इज एक्सट्रीमली डिफिकल्ट. जिसने एक्सपीरियंस किया है वही बोल सकता है. राइट नाउ मार्केट बहुत ऊपर नीचे हो रहा है, maybe people have lost a lot of money, and जो उनको पता ही नहीं है कि उनकी strength क्या है, उन्होंने start किया है और सीधा पूरा capital उन्होंने lose कर दिया है. How can somebody like that have some sort of hope that they can come back later after a while? उनका क्या procedure हो सकता, क्या process हो सकता है उनका, अगर उनको कुछ success चाहिए stock market में, क्योंकि आपने वो experience किया है खुद. Quick one. If you're into the stock markets and would like to open a demat account, I have partnered with Angel Broking. Please use my referral link. Their technology is amazing. I love the platform. They have one of the lowest brokerages in the industry. It's 20 rupees per trade. Their support is amazing. I have used it myself. I can vouch for it. Use my referral link. Now, back to the podcast.
मैं तो इसमें यही कहूंगा कि मतलब फेलियर से कोई घबराने की बात नहीं है, बिकॉज फेलियर तो हर जने की लाइफ में आएंगे. I don't think there is any person who's successful who can say that I've not failed several times at various points. So you have to learn from the failure itself and keep your determination that you have to succeed. And if at a young age, if you are losing capital, you're not losing anything. You are only gaining experience. So I mean, if you lose capital after you have to spend 25 years in the market, then that is a debacle. But if you are just starting out your journey, you are 2, 3, 4 years into your careers and your professional life, and if you are losing some money, that's okay. I mean, that's the best time to do experiments and to try to take risks. So then I think nothing to feel demotivated about that. Try different things, see what fits your psychology, what feels and seems more doable from your perspective, and just go for it. I don't think there's anything bad about having a early failure. Okay, thank you so much, Alok sir. It has been really fruitful. I mean, you have shared a lot of insights, you've given a lot of hope, some comforts, a lot of value as well. If you guys want to talk to Alok sir, please tweet him at whatever handles he has shared. I'm going to link it as well. Please subscribe to Weekend Investing. It is an amazing service. They have delivered exceptional results. I can vouch for that. Alok sir is extremely helpful. He has worked with a lot of non-investors, traders. He has 25 plus years of experience. Please go follow him, watch his videos, learn from him, talk to him. And I hope I can speak with you later sometime after a few years, and then we can have another session. Thank you so much, Alok sir. Sure. Very helpful. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Bye, Aakash. Bye.